Hey everyone, good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, whatever you might be. I hope that you guys are doing well, and I hope that you guys are practicing spiritual cleansing, practicing love, self care, self love. Always remember to love yourself first than anything or anyone else. Today, I want to speak to you guys um, about a situation of uh, resilience and strength, as well as bravery. These three words can make the weak shake very quick because they are intimidated by people that are actually strong, people that are actually, you know, strong willed. And they don't like that because they don't have that themselves. So they're always going to target the strong because the weak is always trying to sabotage. And this is what happened in my life. As I have described to you guys in the past videos, in 1997, I was already living in the shelter in Los Angeles. Um, I was 21, 21, 23, somewhere in there. Um, because I came to this country when I was 17. 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23. Yeah, five. Yeah, so basically in 1997, I was in the shelter, like I said, and my mother was still living in Los Angeles with my house sisters and her men. When I ran away from home is because my mother was against who I am now, who I always wanted to be. She was against it, and she just didn't have the understanding that a nurturing mother would have for her child. You know, mother mothers will always do whatever they can for that child's life, for them to be happy, successful, and intelligent. Um, in my case, my mother was the opposite. As I have described to you guys before, I always told you that my mother never felt like my mother. My father never felt like my father. My parents never felt like my parents. They always felt like there were people that were my enemies, people that hated me, people that just didn't like me for whatever reason. And they treated me just like that. All the abuse and the spiritual abuse and spiritual exploitation that they have subjected me all these years since I was a child. It has been severe and very extreme. They practically used me as a cash cow, They would use me to manifest their grandest desires, fortune, power, luxuries, lavish lifestyles, all kinds of things that they had. My family always had a very unique lifestyle that was always, for me anyway, I was always questioning how are these people paying for this lifestyle? Because based on what they have told my grandparents, they are not supposed to be making that kind of money. So no one knew how they were making that money or where the money came from. They all, like I said, had expensive cars and expensive clothes. They would come to the US almost every 6 months. My father was one of them. For some reason, my father always had a very devoted time frame every year. He would make it to the United States every 6 years. I'm sorry, every 6 months. I don't know if this is due to the fact that he probably has some kind of a resident alien card, or maybe he has a visa, maybe he has a US citizenship that he cannot abandon for more than 6 months. So my guess is that yes, that is the last choice that I just mentioned. Is probably because he does have some kind of green card or citizenship that he can't abandon. He has to visit that country every 6 months in order for him to keep that citizenship active, or otherwise it automatically closes out or cancels. I'm not really sure, but the other thing was that he, of course, had connections with the Masons and the Illuminati here in the United States. My father was very much heavily into all the cult, dark arts thing, even though he was a pastor of a church, Nazareth Church, yeah, Church of Nazareth or Nazarene, something like that. Um, the congregation was pretty big, but yeah, no, he was pretty much a pastor, which just didn't explain how he made the money to buy brand new trucks and build new houses, and unless you're taking, you know, donations from the church member that are somewhere between $10,000 and up, I can see how that's possible. But in El Salvador, church people, are pretty much regular people. Not everyone in El Salvador has a lavish, expensive life. Maybe they do, they just know how to hide it. I don't know. But, anyways, where I'm going with all of this is that with this whole immigration situation, my mother received my green card in 1997, like I told you guys before. And because I was in the shelter and she and I were not exactly in good terms or talking to each other because of the fact that she just didn't agree who I had wanted to become and who I went for. She didn't want me to be me. So out of hate, out of jealousy, out of anger that she couldn't control me, out of anger that she couldn't tame my spirit down as she wanted, because she wanted me submitted to her, submissive all the way. And so she went ahead and told immigration that I was dead. And immigration did absolutely nothing to push her and say, well, our job is now to ask you for a death certificate for this person so that we can officially close the case. The fact that they didn't ask for any of that and the case was very easily closed out is what started made me to see things. It started making me to realize what was happening, the interference, the meddling that was taking place, not just from family members, but also from outside people that had ulterior motives and vendettas against me for being different or for being a chosen. And like I said, they knew that I was a chosen since I was a child, since I was born. They knew. Um, anyway, so because the case belonged to my mother, and she's a U.S. citizen, so basically the case only took 5 years. When you're a U.S. citizen and your parents are U.S. citizen, then your immigration case should only take 3 to 5 years, sometimes two. It's very quick, but it just depends. After my case was closed, I had to wait a little longer because I didn't have the money to reopen the case and I didn't have the funds, to reinstate the case or even open up a new one. So 97, 98, 99, 3 years went by and I finally was able to afford to reopen my immigration case. So I ended up hiring a lawyer who initially she struggled to try to get a hold of the situation and understand where everything ended previously, how it happened, what happened to the previous case, and what was the case number. So nothing was being found. Everything was being hard to find, and no one could piece anything together. But I came to the lawyer one day and I said to her, so here's my thing and my observation about the situation. Okay. I know that I am a very young person. I was only 18 at the time. 17, well, 23, 24, I'm sorry, 25, 24, 25. Um, in 2000, I was already, you know, on the 27, 28 age gap. Um, and when I reopened the case, immigration kept saying that they couldn't find the case, and however they were suggesting that I would open an entirely new immigration case on my own, which would mean delays because I myself am already an adult. I'm no longer the 18-year-old person that my mother claimed before. So basically, immigration was saying you're gonna have to fend for yourself. So I ended up hiring this lawyer, and the lawyer and immigration altogether were having a hard time getting a hold of the old case that was closed out. So I stepped in and I told the lawyer, I said, so are there no records or electronic records or prints anywhere that shows that this case ever existed? She says only Laguna Niguel in California would have records of that. So I asked her, so what are you waiting for? For the world to end for you to make that action, to make that decision? And so she got mad because I started to get on her. She was a Virgo. My lawyer was a Virgo. She was a typical narcissist. She wanted control of the health situation, but she was useless and stupid. Anyway, so then she finally, a week or 2 weeks later, after I pressed and pressed and pressed her, we finally got a hold of the case exactly where I said it was, is where it was. And if I had known that, I probably would have just made that move myself before I even opened the case so that there wouldn't be any more setbacks. But when you hire a lawyer, you have to let them, finish and do the job and their diligence. Um, I finally found the case. I brought it up to the lawyer and I said, here's the case number the immigration gave me. This is what we found at Laguna de Guel. And she says, oh, great. Now we can refile the case under this case. And I will file some kind of a power of attorney explaining what happened to the situation and why the case was closed out or whatever. And I'm happy at that point because I'm thinking, oh my God, it's only going to be 5 more years and I can be free. You would think I would have been free in 1997, right? But as you see, they did intentionally cut my future. They literally stole my entire future by doing what they did. Anyway, after the situation was already in motion, now we have the correct case number. Now we have a case that we can go by. My first appointment with immigration was not like a year or two after that. And I'm like, good Lord, this is so much weight. And I was just getting so frustrated because my goal was to get to my destiny. And I wanted to be successful. I wanted to be somebody. And I kept getting very anxious about it and frustrated at the same time because I kept running into so many setbacks. It was just one after another one. And the worst part of it all is that it wasn't just random people coming after me for no reason at all. It was also my family members. So then after the 2 years went by, we finally met with the with the immigration court, only for the judge to come and say that, why are you like this? What made you make this change? And to me, listening to those questions, it was like listening to things like, I'm going to continue to delay you because I have the privilege to do so. That's what I would interpret from what she was saying to me the whole time. Anyway, so she came out and said that this is the immigration judge. It was an old lady. And she said, well, I am demanding a psychological procedure to be done on you because before I grant you the green card, I want to make sure that you know exactly what you're doing. And to me, that was an insult altogether, because who I am right now is who I have been since I was born, since I was a child. That was the whole reason I was bullied my entire life, because I was just like that, and they would make fun of me the whole time since I was a kid. And after the 2 years went by, and I met with the immigration judge, and she demanded a psychological report to be done on me. That delayed the case for another 2 years. So then again, I waited another 2 years. You see, now we're going on to 4 years when it should have only taken 5 years. And then I go through the entire burden of having to find a psychologist to do a psychological report, because immigration thinks that I'm crazy and that I have some kind of identity disorder. In their terminology, that's what that is. But that's just being pure ignorant, because they know better. Just because the book says one thing, it doesn't mean that the person is what the book says. The person has the right to choose how they want to live their lives. People have no right to tell these people how they want to live their lives, or how they need to live their lives, how they have to live their lives. Nobody has the right to do that. But the sick obsession of trying to control my life, my destiny, and the events in my life, of wanting to be in control of what happens to me, when it happens to me, how it happens to me, this is what helped the situation to be disastrous for my outcome, and delayed in so many unfair ways, unnecessary, uncalled for. So I ended up talking to a friend of mine and say, hey, I need $2,600 because the psychological thing that I need to go through is almost that expensive, and I didn't have insurance back then to cover those fees, you know. So my friend said, yeah, you know. So he lent me the $2,500, and I paid the psychologist, and it took almost 6 to 9 months psychological treatment, supposedly because they thought I needed, only for them to come up with a report that said this person is well balanced. This person displays signs of being a person who is ground, responsible. This person is a very strong person, knows exactly who she is. Her femininity and her physical features are not that of a person that her birth certificate says she was. Not even the doctor's papers. In the report, it's clearly stated that I'm going to read it to you on what it said. It said, Ms. Berry, because that's my last name, Ms. Berry displays and presents signs of intelligence, signs of a person who is well grounded and knows herself very well. And when this report was finally out and it was sent out to immigration, the woman judge, she didn't look happy, and she I guess she was planning to have more setbacks done onto me, because that's what she was trying to do the whole time. It was uncalled for to order something that it came off more like discrimination rather than a person who is concerned, or a citizen of the law who is concerned. When there were so many papers and so many things that pointed out to her that this person was okay, there was no issue, there never were any issues with this person. So what was the whole delaying about? It was intentional. The scrutiny was intentional. They tried to scrutinize my gender. They tried to scrutinize my sexual orientation. They tried to scrutinize my own identity, trying to make me believe that I was crazy for being who I was. And when they received the report, they did not look happy. They were expecting the opposite of what that report said. So for that judge, it was a slap on her face. It was God's way of saying, how dare you even doubt my child the way that you do? How dare you discriminate my child for being who she is? Who are you to judge her? She's an immigration judge, for God's sake. She's not God. I got so upset about the fact that she was coming at me and attacking my personality and my gender, the whole 9 yards. My lawyer, it was more of a frustration than help. She was so submissive and helpless, useless. She couldn't help, and she was useless. Everything was, yes, Your Honor. No, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. No, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. I don't want a lawyer that's a yes, sir, yes, ma'am. I want a lawyer that's going to fight for me. If she cannot be that, then I will take care of this myself. I ended up firing that woman in the elevator in the courthouse that day. And I told her myself, I need all the paperwork and I need all the information so that I can proceed with this case by my own. If nobody's going to be willing to stand up for me and fight for me the way that they need to be doing in court and stand up for me, then I will do it myself with God. After 3 years went by, no, actually, I'm sorry, 5 years went by after that. This is already going on to 10, 15 years already almost. Intentional delay, intentional setbacks, only because they did not want to set me free. They did not want me to succeed, and they did not want me to stand in my destiny when I was young, because they knew I was walking straight into success. They knew I was destined for it. They intentionally set all these traps to set me back, to trap me in a cycle of poverty, lack, restriction, and deprivation, a cycle of abuse and exploitation. Because they were exploiting my gifts. They knew about my spiritual gifts the whole time. All of them knew. When the judge referred to the psychological part of it and gender-wise, she wasn't referring to that. She was referring to your state of mind. Why do you believe in what you believe? Why did you choose to be who you are? And then you guys can tell me, does this sound like a fair situation, legal situation to you? Is this not discrimination to you? Because this is scrutiny at its best by higher ups in control of your freedom and your destiny, your life, your dreams, all together, gatekeeping you. Because they didn't want you to succeed. That's what they did to me. They didn't want me to succeed. They didn't want me to be anybody. They wanted me to be a bum, homeless, a drug addict, a prostitute. They wanted me to be involved in all these low vibrational activities, only to try to keep trying to prove a point that says, see, I told you she's not a good person. And this was all nothing to do but family members meddling with my destiny. Because everyone in the family I came from knew that I was about to step into my destiny. And they figured the only way to take her out of this is to either kill her altogether or destroy her opportunities of being free. They said, we want to watch her suffer. We want to watch her cry from agony, from pain. We want to watch her suffer until she gets on her knees and beg us for help because we want her broken. We need her to feel that she needs us. I don't chase things. The only thing I chase is my dreams, but that doesn't mean you have the right to play with them either. I don't chase anybody, and I don't chase anything. I will be religiously chasing my dreams because that is what I have been chasing since I was born, but you people said, no, we don't want you to have this. You don't have the right to succeed. You don't deserve it because you're a peasant. You came from the mud, from nothing. You are nothing but a walking peasant who should be walking around with an orange jumpsuit, locked up in prison or in a mental asylum. Even if you have no criminal background, they wanted to. They tried to pay people to lock me up. The psychological report, what do you think that was? I told you they've been trying to put me in a mental asylum for a very long time because they want to play it or downplay my intelligence by saying she's mentally unstable. She needs to be locked up either in prison or in a mental asylum. And there were so many ulterior motives behind this whole situation against me. My lawyer got really mad at me because I told her off and I called her out in the elevator and I told her that she was fired. I'll take it from here. I was not afraid. I was sick and tired of the games. And if no man is going to stand up for me, then I will be that person if I have to. And I did. When I presented myself to the judge for, I don't even remember how many times that was anymore because it was so many times that they kept playing with my life. And I remember when the judge was finally changed. Thank God that the judge was actually changed to another judge. The new judge that came on board, he said, I respect you for standing for yourself. I respect you for fighting on your own. I respect you for being brave, resilient, and strong. I respect you for firing the lawyer because it means that you have guts, you have backbone. And then he goes on to say, you have proven to be a person of backbone. And in my mind, I'm going, so you're telling me that all of this was traps just to test me? You people have no right to play with my livelihood the way that you did. You people have no right to try to control my life the way that you people did. Like I said, I reopened my case in 2000. In 2021, I finally received my US citizen. They figured she's old. She has no chance of ever being successful again. So now we can give her her green card. Because we know for sure that nobody's going to want to work with her. She's too old. And she's too stupid and gullible. Who's going to want to work with her? We've already trashed her entire spirit. We've already broken her. And then when God restored my entire life, they start telling people that I am a witch. Because God restored my entire spirit that was broken by these people. God saw everything that these people did against me unjustly, unfair. God saw how these people intentionally stole everything from me. Money, destiny, future, dreams, material assets. They took everything from me. They destroyed me all the way to the ground because they figured it was the only way that we can keep her down, low vibrational. We cannot ever let her be happy because once she becomes happy and successful, her vibration will be so high that the world will change itself. We cannot afford that. These people made a pact to do the things that they did to me. All these people, hundreds of people against me, one person. They all overpowered me to the point that I was pushed into the depths of the shadows, hidden, tucked away, so that no one would ever know about my existence or me or my light. They took my light, my essence, my life, and my destiny. And believe it or not, I still feel the heaviness of all of what was done to me in my chest. But I pray to God every day so that I can continue to heal. Because I am not going to give these people what they want. They want a broken person. They want to see me as homeless, screaming at myself on the streets like a crazy person. Because this would have brought them joy, happiness. And all because they all knew one common thing. They all knew I was the chosen, the real one. And they made it their mission not to ever let me have what I was destined to have. And here I am at 51 years old, still dreaming, still pushing forward, still believing, still having hope and faith that one day the universe and God will do the right thing, and I know that they will. Because what these people want is to break my faith, my hope, my aspirations, and my dreams. So they needed to make sure that I never got that. So they came up with the idea to hire the doppelganger. Anyone can have this, they said. Just not her. We'd rather give it to a doppelganger, a look-alike, but we don't want that one. We despise that one. These people hate me so much that if it was legal to kill people, if it was for them, I would have already been dead. Because they have plotted against my life so many times. And God has saved me every time. And they continue to resent me and hate me because God keeps saving me from death. And when they see that when they see this, they turn around and tell people, I told you she's a witch. We can't kill her. We can't take her out. She has a pact with the devil. But the whole time they know that that's a lie. I welcome anyone to put cameras in my house. Please show me where the voodoo and the black magic is. Please show me the footage. Or show me pictures. Show me something that proves that I am what you're saying. Because all of this was nothing but slandering, assassination of character to keep me down so nobody would ever see me as a person that was going to be someone one day. They wanted everybody to think of me as a bomb. They wanted men to disrespect me, to not ever give me the right treatment or love. They hired men to come to me so that they can breadcrumb me and break my heart and play with my emotions and destroy me and break me. All of these things are intentional. All of these things were not coincidences or random events. They were very well strategically plotted out, well planned out. But to their worst laugh and their face, the worst slap that they can get on the face is to still see me alive and standing. And they all say the same thing. How are you still standing after all that we have done to you? You were supposed to be dead. You were supposed to be locked up or in a mental asylum. Why are you still standing? Why are you still smiling? Why are you still thinking that you're better than us? Why do you even have the determination to get up every day when you know that we have screwed everything up for you? It's very simple. They didn't make me. God made me. God doesn't break his children. He makes his children. He builds his children. And this is an example for everyone to see that no matter what people do to you to try to stop you or harm you or hurt you in any way, they are not God. They don't have the last say. God will only allow people to get away with so much until he has enough to bring justice to their door. Because a lot of these people that were involved in meddling and destroying my life the way that they did, these people are suffering serious karma or are about to suffer severe karma. Some people will lose their jobs. Some people will lose their homes. Some people will lose family relatives. Some people will lose friends. Some people will lose their own lives because they were told by God, don't do this. Don't do this to my child. You know she's my chosen. They told God, we don't care. She's a joke and so are you. God became furious and he didn't take action right away because he wanted the weapons to be formed. All weapons that were going to be formed against me, he was not going to let them prosper. He used those weapons against them for their own demise. He used all that they wished upon me against them to destroy them. Because the only satanic maggots in this entire situation is them. My family members, corrupt law officials that were involved in this, corrupt law officials who took bribes to do this, and the doppelganger who participated in posing as me. And they thought that creating a clone of me would solve the issue. So whenever there is something good coming my way, they prepare the doppelganger to energetically claim the blessings for me. And because the universe somehow was not aware of the clone, they thought that she was me. This clone was getting everything, all the blessings from the universe that were supposed to be mine. She got them because they helped her turn the wheel of fortune on her favor so that I would be hurt, heartbroken, and destroyed. Their intention the whole time has been about breaking me and my spirit. They hate my strength. They hate my intelligence, emotional and intellectual intelligence. And yet they tell people, she's stupid. Let me show you how you can rob her blindly. I can show you how to steal from her blindly. And she's too stupid, she's never gonna know. We've been manifesting off of her all these years, they say. That she's so dumb, no, she doesn't even know about it. And the whole time, I've been knowing. It's just that I don't react the way that they do. A real person of the illuminated house, people from the house of the illuminated ones, they don't react that way. At least the real ones, anyway. Because the fake ones, they go to war, they kill people, they steal. That's what they do. I have had videos in my YouTube channel in the past that were meant to go viral, that were meant to be seen by the world. These people stopped it. These people blocked it. Because they keep thinking that they are the ones who choose who the next one that goes up is. And they said, she's clearly not one that we're ever going to allow to go up. We will continue to hide her and suppress her. Because we already have a doppelganger that looks just like her. We don't need her. But they still need my energy and my creativity. They tried to kill me and destroy me, but they still need me. I have been victimized, tortured, tormented, abused, used, exploited, stolen from, and they still did not break my spirit because they don't own me. They don't control my spirit. God does. And everything that they took away, it will be returned to me tenfold. And whatever they did to me will be returned to them tenfold. Do unto others as you want done unto you. When these copycats started to walk around as me, posing as me, stealing my identity for work opportunities, love opportunities, she'd always meddle because she continued to pay people to do psychic readings on me. She pays thousands of dollars to psychic readers only to tell them what is next, who's coming for her, like who's coming towards her, what's coming towards her, how can we block it? And they keep doing this. The same thing they do with my mail, same thing. They continue to meddle and block communication. They want to control my phone and control who can talk to me and who cannot. They want to control my phone and they choose who can call me and who cannot. And if it's someone that I want them to call me, they'll delete or block the text message or the call altogether so that you never know that they never even reached out to you. Because they try to make your spirit broken, make you feel less than, make you feel so little, unwanted or undesirable. The way these people have been bullying me behind the scenes this whole time, anyone would have taken themselves out or just go. God wasn't about to let that happen. They came at me 10 times harder because they knew who I was. They knew the strength that I had. And yet they painted a picture of a weak person who's gullible, stupid, and unintelligent. When I had the real higher ups call me and said that they were going to find me no matter where I went, how do you think I felt? I felt betrayed by my own people, the people that were supposed to protect me and help me excel in life, help me thrive in life. Instead, they chose to destroy me and try to kill me even. Everything that was taken from me, like I said, God will give back to me tenfold. And this is a perfect example for all my subscribers and for all those listening to this video or to me. Um, it's a perfect example that you cannot let people decide who you are or who you want to be. You need to stand up, stand strong for what you believe. You stand for something or you fall for anything. It's very simple. Because these people are not going to play that game for you. They will take away whatever it's yours and leave you out in the cold just like that. But always remember that God is the one with the last word. And if I am still here talking to you guys about this, it's because God made it possible so that I can become the testimony for you. Just so that you can see that no matter what you go through in life, there's always a reason. Maybe God wants to teach you something. He wants you to see something for yourself. He wants you to learn about people. He wants you to be discerning of who you interact with. Because the people that I used to admire and respect turned out to be the big snakes in my life. The ones who stole my destiny are the ones I trusted. And the only one you can trust in this world is God. We live in the days today that no one has the ability to be real or honest. Everyone is out there for their own gains, stealing, killing, vandalizing, terrorizing people just because they think that they can. But the children of God are always going to be protected. Someone said to me in my TikTok page, one of the TikTok pages I had before that I no longer have because the copycat stole it from me. This person said to me, if they already did the destiny swap, then I think you should just give up because at that point I think that whole thing is lost. You've already lost. That was the copycat. And the giver comment playing or pretending to be other people telling me these things to discourage me, to stop me from keep going because they wanted what I had for them. The copycat has always been after my success since I was a child. And they get mad that they can't get to me. They cannot do what they wanted to do. And they still refuse to understand that God allowed them to form the weapons against me. But they did not understand that they were not going to prosper. God wasn't going to let it. Always stay true to yourself. Never let life break your spirit. Never let adversity break your spirit. Never let the devil take your soul. Stand strong and fight for your dreams. Fight for what you want. Don't let anyone tell you that you don't deserve what you want or what you desire. Stay true to your light. Stay true to your path. And most of all, stay true to God because He will always stand by your side in the good, in the thick, and eyes. No matter what, He'll always be with you. And if you don't believe that, look at me. Because a lot of people misjudge me for this. They all say the same thing. You don't look like what you've been through. Well, just because I've been through hell, it doesn't mean I have to look like hell. It wasn't their will, it was God's will. That's the hard part for them to understand. They just don't get it. Understand that God will always be with you no matter what you go through. He's not going to let anything bad happen to you. Turn to God instead of turning to dark practitioners for protection. Instead of turning to voodoo practitioners for protection, turn to God. Instead of trying to do magic on someone's life, ask God to do magic for you in your life. Because when God said that you must follow you must pursue the calling of your light, He meant your light. He didn't mean someone else's light. And that goes to the copycat. Because she doesn't know how to live in her light. My light is the only light she knows. Because she cannot be herself. Her identity is completely destroyed. Her self-worth is on the ground, on the gutters. She drinks. She pops pills. She lays with everybody she meets. And she charges money for what is worst. These are not God's things. That is not divine at all. And that is definitely not a divine feminine or an empress. That is a self-proclaimed empress, a self-proclaimed queen of cups, however she calls herself. Because she's very much into the whole tarot. And she's that stupid. Suppressing my light to try to be me or take what's mine, it will backfire horribly. They will all go to prison for identity theft, fraud, forgery, RICO, perjury. A lot of things go on in that list, long list. And I'm going to leave you guys with that. Just remember to always stay strong. Don't let the devil or the darkness take away your spirit. Turn to God, ask for strength, and ask for guidance. I love you guys, and I hope that this helps to uplift you a little bit on your day. And understand that whatever you're going through is never just for the fun of it or just for the hell of it. There's a reason why. God is trying to make you see something. God bless you all, and stay prayed up, and always stay humble and be kind to one another. I love you guys. And